definitely agree with that. I mean, I feel like relationships is just kind of what fuels, human. I mean, we're social beings by nature.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being alone is not. I mean, look at God. What did He say? It's not good for man to be alone.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just, having that relationship aspect and also being teachable. I'm slowly learning that's something very valuable. Is just being teachable and able to learn from other people. And not having that pride to kind of stop you from learning from other people.
Yeah, taking advice is huge. Taking advice is, bro, that's like probably the biggest cheat code in life. Because if I want to go to school to do something, or if I want to go after something or go down a new road, I mean, I could just ask someone that's older than me, hey, so when you went down this road, was it worth it? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it really worth it? Or like, was this like what are some roadblocks I got to look for? Like, you could just ask older people and like get advice from like 5-10 older people. And then like that can kind of wire how you should think. I had a teacher one time in high school, and it was funny. I always tell this story. It was my senior year in high school as my teacher, right? And I always respected him. I thought he was a great guy. I still do. Not saying I don't. I always thought he was a great guy.
Yeah.
And I graduated out of high school with my boys, and we go to Chick-fil-A, right? And I see him at Chick-fil-A. I'm like, bro, what you doing at Chick-fil-A? What are you working here? He was working at the cash register. And he walked off the cash register, and he was like, hey, bro, hey, what's going on? Like, he was just my teacher like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
3 months later, I see him at Chick-fil-A at the cash register. And he's like, yeah, the school fired me. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And he's like, right now, me and the wife were working at Chick-fil-A. I think they seen the wife like making somebody's frappe or something, man. And he was like, I still love him. I don't think he's there anymore, but what he told me was, he's like, I don't care what you do in life. He's like, don't get student loans. And it was funny because he's like, I'm only at Chick-fil-A because they help pay off portions of your student loans.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A be getting people right. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. And he looked me in the eyes. He's like, whatever you do in life, just don't get student loans. He shook my hand. He walked over to the cash register. He's like, next in line. He said, welcome to Chick-fil-A. Can I take your order? I'm like, dang. That was a teacher in my school that I respected. And those words from me, from that day on, I never got student loans. I have my bachelor's now and I graduated, but I never got student loans because of that one piece of advice. And that's the thing, like, a lot of times when we're younger, we're so naive to what older people can say, but if you sponge it, no one's saying that you have to respond to it. No one's saying that you have to agree with it. But as long as you sponge it, you never know when you might use that information, so.
Yeah, that's true, man, because I've heard a lot of things over the years that just stuck in my head and honestly has done nothing but get me right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think what the world wants to know, bro, so I guess the real question is, why'd you leave the church? I think that's what the world, that's what the world really wants to know, bro. Like, why'd you leave? Why are you coming back now? The pod's going great, but we got to get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
So why'd you leave? Do you want to come back? Are we all heathens? What's your mindset going in? Okay, I guess we could start off with, why'd you leave?
So it was definitely a long process, and I didn't really understood it until I actually decided to sit down and think about kind of the way that my life is going and, kind of just what happened. Because, I was in the church one moment, and then the next second, I'm like, I'm out. And then it was kind of surreal to me. I didn't really process what was going on. Everything was kind of just happening.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you know, but I had a lot of free time. I think I was going to campus, 2 days out of the entire month.
Jeez.
Yeah, because my class was mixed modality, so it was remote and in person.
Yeah, mixed mode, yep.
So during this free time, I kind of just, was just experiencing life. I was, walking around campus. My roommates were very much in the, party scene. Well, half of my roommates were, the other half wasn't.
Yeah.
I was just going out and living life as a regular college student.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of that desire to, experience the college feel of things conflicted with, my relationship with God.
In your morals. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I think even for me, like, me and some other people in the church, we'd be like, man, like in the world, like once you get it out your system, like, because for me, it's always funny when I see like people get baptized in like high school and stuff. I'm like I'm not saying like not to do it, but you don't experience life. Like you don't get a boyfriend. You don't, have your first kiss, go to prom. Like these are like canon events that I feel like, bro, for real. Like these things are supposed to happen. Yeah. You're supposed to have your first crush. You're supposed to have your first kiss as a kid. You're supposed to go on dates with a boy. Like these things are supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying people not to get baptized like in high school, but if you can hold off for like 2 years. Just do it, because I feel like it will show you that, the world, like, okay, yes, like, because that's the thing, like, when you come into the church, you're so sheltered.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't really know kind of, like, what's out there, and so to go from, like, high school to baptized, and, like, you're always gonna, your mind will always go to the what if. It always will go there, oh, what if I was in the world? What if I had a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or man, what if I like did this, or like your mind will always go to all these different things, So if you maybe get baptized in college, go to church in college, like first year, that's great. But high school, you gotta have a little fun. You know what I mean? Like I enjoyed high school. I had a lot of fun in high school, but I'm just trying to think, if I didn't, like, I would be like an NPC, bro. Like, I'd be a robot, bro. Like, I don't know, but you go ahead. You can go ahead.
I mean, to touch on a little about the high school thing, I kind of had the reverse.
Oh, really?
High school. Yeah, I was, I was kind of that guy that was just friends with everyone. I was comfortable talking to everybody. I didn't really get much attention from, women in high school and stuff like that. And I wouldn't say I had low self-esteem, but I just thought nobody was attracted to me, because girls wouldn't just talk to me regularly, like as a friend. They would tell me about guys they liked and stuff like that. Come to find out, oddly enough, after high school ended is when my phone started blowing up.
Man had all the riz, bro.
I was just existing. All of a sudden, I was just getting calls and texts like, "Yo, you want to hang out? This, that, and the third?" I'm like, where was his attention in high school? Right,
it was a BMW, the 443. 443.
I had it in high school.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I had it in high school.
You had riz like that in high school?
Yeah, I mean, I made sure to park it far against the gate, because
this man had a BMW in high school. You lying to me?
No, I'm serious.
This guy had a Beamer in high school and talking about he had no attention. This guy's capping, guys. He's capping.
But so, and it wasn't really till like college is when I realized that and not to like boost my own ego, but I realized I was sort of attractive.
No, for sure. Same for me too. Same for me. I think, for me too. Like, I'm telling you, when I was in high school, like, I had attention. Like, everybody knew who I was, but I wasn't that dude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I got to college, bro, I was like, yo, like, people actually like me. Like, like I don't even know. Like, I'm telling you, like, me in high school, like, when I got to college was when, like, my confidence, like, skyrocketed. Because I'm telling you, in high school, it's like, these, like, it'd be like, all right, these are the 10 guys that are like, these are the popular kids, and like, these are like the people that run everything, and like, if these people don't like you, no one's gonna like you. I feel like high school, there's so much politics, right? But when you get to college, like, everybody's from around the world. No one really cares about, none of that, and like, I was in my first year in college, I was like, man, like, I'm actually a cool dude. Like, bro, for real. Like, I'm telling you, like, high school were really bro, high school really put my mind in a box of just who I was and everything. And once I got out, I was like, man, life is amazing. Like, I had a lot of guy friends. I had a lot of girlfriends, like, just female friends. And like, we'd all hang out and stuff. I'm like, man, life is great. But like, for me, but in high school, like, you would never think that, because there's so much politics in it, so, but yeah.
Yeah, man. A question.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Because you said the word female friends.
Yeah.
How do you feel about female friends in terms of keeping them around? Because I'm under the pretext that, as a male, and not to be too shallow, but also to be shallow at the same time. Yeah. I feel like most guys kind of keep around female friends that, from high school, whatever, because they find them attractive.
Tough take. I would say, like, for me right now, I have female friends. I probably have 3 or 4 female friends from like high school and stuff like that. I would say, I don't know, like, Here's the thing, like if a guy has female friends, I feel like it's fine because I feel like the guy is always the aggressor. But if a female has guy friends, it's just no, it's just not working. Like because you know how guys think. A guy will play the long game from beginning to end, and he'll wait for his opening, right? But for a guy with female friends, the guy's always the aggressor. The guy leads. So if the guy wants the relationship in a certain boundary, it's going to stay there. But for females, they don't really have that control, I don't feel like. I feel like out of nowhere, a guy can be like, yo, so what's up? You know what I'm saying? You know, or it's just like, oh, if I'm dating somebody and then we break up and it's like, oh, you know, he was never that, you know, he was never there for you.
Shoulder to cry on.
Yeah, shoulder to cry, bro. All that junk, bro. Like, bro, I hate that stuff, man. Yeah. So to answer your question directly, can a guy have female friends? Yes. And the thing is, because I have female friends now, and what it does is I don't know, for me, like, I feel like guys and girls, like, they think differently, right? Obviously, they think differently. And, like, you know, if you're talking to a female friend, they can give you the female perspective, you know, especially if like you're close to them, you know what I mean? Because if you're just talking to someone randomly, it's like, okay, like I'm going to listen, but I'm right. But if you have a female friend, it's like, okay, I'm listening and I trust what you're saying because we've been friends for X amount of years, you know? So for me, like sometimes like you can get different perspectives from the females output.
Yeah.
So I think it can work, but vice versa, no.
Yeah, no, I can agree. That's a I like that take. And honestly, it's like I don't know how open we can be on this podcast, but
be as open as possible.
So let's take a little trip down memory lane. Let's go back to freshman year.
Oh man,
freshman year of college, Aaron
with the BMW, with the Riz, man. I already can see it, bro. This man had the Beamer. He's popping some of that Chris Brown back in the day.
This guy.
What, 2010 Chris Brown. This man ran. This guy light skinned too, bro. Well, you're like in the middle. But,
I'm brown.
I'm
light brown.
Yeah, you're light brown. But probably back in high school, he's probably more light skinned, bro. Chris Brown ran everything back in the 2010s. This man had the BMW.
I never listened to Chris Brown.
Hey, bro. Well, you had the Beamer. So what else do you really need?
This guy. Confidence, which wasn't there.
Yeah, that's true. Confidence is everything.
Yeah, no, 100%. I've learned situations are only awkward if you make them awkward.
Yeah, confidence is everything. Like, you can be busted. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I use a number system. I don't want to go too deep into it, but I do use the number system when it comes to attractiveness, right? And I do believe that you can be. I feel like most people. I feel like 90% of the population go in the aspect of an average looking, which is to me is a 6. The 6 to me is average. Everybody lined up in a white t-shirt and jeans. To me, most people are average looking, right? And I feel like to me, even an average looking person can get someone more attractive to them if they have confidence and they know how to dress and they're, you know, in other things like, you know, obviously what you do can help you out and how you look, how you dress, all these things can help you out, but you don't necessarily have to be the most attractive person to date attractive people. You just have to be good in other areas. But confidence is like the top first one.
Yeah, you gotta have that presence about you.
Yeah, you know, you gotta know who you are. You know what I mean? If you're like, oh, I know I'm an ugly dude, and now you're an NPC, you're just walking around like the world hates you, like, you know, you're not gonna get far in life, you know. But it's like, okay, I'm an average looking dude, but I'm gonna dress the best. I know I got smooth talk. And I got the BMW 435. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but go ahead, bro.
But so back to our little time machine. So basically where I was going with that, I believe it was probably like my 3rd month into college.
Yeah.
Is when I kind of started realizing like I was kind of, I wouldn't say that dude, but I could,
you was that, bro.
I can smooth talk a little bit.
Yeah. You had a little riz to you. You had a little riz.
Yeah, I had a little bit of riz to me. So, I'm just going to say person X, right? So person X hit me up talking about I'm going to be in Orlando. We should hang out. Right?
Yeah.
Person X, I never really looked at her, you know, that type of way, but I knew other dudes found her like very attractive.
Yeah.
Right? Just because, you know, light skin, curly hair, the generic, yada, right? She worked out in shape. So I'm like, cool, right? She was my homegirl throughout all of high school. We were always tight and stuff like that. So she came down.
What if she listens to this?
That's tough. I mean,
hey, just don't read too.
Hey.
No, I'm messing. Go ahead. I'm messing with you.
So she came down, we hung out and everything, and it's like we ended up back in my room, right? And we were just watching. Nothing happened.
I mean, hey, like I say, you just had to work on the Riz. No, I'm joking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We were just vibing, watching movies and stuff, and she was supposed to go back to her spot and whatnot at night, and she ended up falling asleep there. And I'm wide awake. I'm just like, bro, what is going on?
Yeah,
because it's new for me. It's kind of the first time that I had, a girl kind of fall asleep at my place and things like that. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, she's not very much on.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to process everything, what she was wearing to come out and hang out with me, and how she normally dresses. And I'm just like, these puzzle pieces aren't aligning. And then that's when it hits me. I'm like, oh, so that was what's going on. And
it's a booty call.
And I'm just like, I see now. And, I go to sleep, just being ignorant little me. And I wake up. Next thing I know, I wake up, she's like kind of just like over me, right?
Really?
Not completely on top of me, but just like laying like cuddled up next to me and things like that. And then I woke up, and then she pretended like she was asleep, but I knew she was awake, right? And I'm like waking her up and everything.
It's like a Lifetime movie.
And I'm just like, I'm still trying to like act all ignorant and everything, and we're kind of just finally wake up, get out of my bed, remind her. I'm like, so what's she gonna do now? And then she's like, oh, I don't know, like, what do you want to do? And then she looks at me and stares at me and if I swear it felt like 30 minutes she was staring at me, but it was probably a good 5, 6, 7 seconds.
It's a long time, bro.
And imagine staring at somebody for 30 minutes.
We haven't been talking for that long. Now we have, but go ahead.
But and then that's when kind of everything just felt together. I'm like, oh yeah, this girl is definitely here because she wanted to sleep with me.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but this is my homegirl. Like, I've known her for all of high school.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, wait, she looks at me that way. Because I knew definitely all the other dudes that would try to get with her and stuff like that. And she would tell me, she would always tell them no. But I'm like, okay, am I above them? Like, and this is when I started to actually look at myself in the mirror more. And I'm like, okay, wait a second. If I actually cut my hair, I look pretty decent, because I didn't cut my hair for very long periods of time.
Really?
Yeah, I had afros almost, every
Afros?
single. Yeah, it was.
Love Don't Cost a Thing. You seen that movie?
Nah.
With Nick Cannon? Oh man.
I've probably seen it, but
yeah, it's Nick Cannon. He walked around with an afro, and then he got with this girl that was like a 10, and then like he became that dude, right? And then when he was that dude, he dropped his girl that brought him up. That made me think of that. But that's real though. That's real. Like, that's real. It's like, I don't know. I feel like for me, I was in similar. Like, as you get older, you're more aware of what's going on. Like, like I don't want to like talk my dirt, but like there was a lot of situations where like I was kind of similar to you.
Yeah.
And as I got older, I'm like, I didn't regret. I'm not saying I regret it, but there's a lot of times where I'm just like, exactly, oh wow, like
I know
that actually happened. Like where people like, they invite me over, and then like, I mean, I'm a freshman, so I'm going to sleep, and like and then as you get older, you're like, oh wow, like something was supposed to happen, but it didn't.
Yeah, and after that event, I think there's probably like 6, 7 other events, not with the same person, but just
look at this guy, bro. Like we talking about one event, he talking about 6, 7, not 1, not 2. You know what, LeBron? Not 3. But what? All right, well, let's go back. Let's rewind. All right. So why did you leave the church? That was the main question.
So yeah,
you guys saw how we avoided that. Like,
I didn't avoid it. The conversation kind of just steered.
Bro, this man. Okay.
I mean, it's 2 people trying to drive the same car. We gotta.
All right. Let me get in the back seat. I'm not even gonna be in the side seat. I'm gonna get in the back seat now.
Nah, you're the passenger for the story. You're the wingman. Not wingman. Co-pilot.
See, look at this guy,
co-pilot.
right? He's talking about 6, 7, 8. Now I'm a wingman. So why did you leave the church? That's what we want to know.
So, now that I'm thinking about it, right?
Why did you genuinely? Because I remember when you were going through that phase here. I remember one time you were like, "Man, the this encouragement, man. I don't like this encouragement. I don't know. This guy was tripping, bro. Everybody was tripping. He was like, I don't know why we gotta love our sisters. Like, what does this mean? I'm like, yeah, his buddy's about to fall away. Bro, sometimes, bro, like, you can't help people and they just start talking crazy. He was one of them. I was like, yo, I don't disciple buddy, but.
So, you know what's crazy? I think I actually had like 2 D times.
Oh, for real?
2 genuine D times.
Hey, man.
My entire time.
Dang, you talking about somebody bad. Hey, I didn't disciple him, but he talking about somebody.
So it was kind of a gradual process, and I didn't realize it was happening because I was living through it.
Yeah.
Right.
Man,
I just became more and more.
That's funny.
I became more and more. I guess the word to use is more displeased, kind of with my current situation. There's a lot of things I didn't understand that I now actually understand after leaving, and the value of a lot of things. Like one of the big things was KDs. I didn't understand the point of KDs, and if you like seen how I was kind of when I first came in, I did not go on any KDs. Oddly enough, the first KD I went on was with Giovanni. Yeah, and it was when he proposed. Not proposed. Wow. Pause. Rewind. When he asked out Alon. That was my first KD. And
that's crazy. How long you in the church?
I think it was like a year and a half.
No way.
I was there for a minute.
There is no way you're in the church for a year and a half and then go on a date.
Oh! Before I went on a date?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Okay.
That my first KD was like I think like probably like a weekend.
Okay.
But then after that one, I probably didn't go on another one for like months.
Wow.
Because I had such a worldly mindset on a kingdom date. I thought it was like them trying to play matchmaker. I'm like, why are you trying to put me with a sister in the church? Like I'm very capable of.
Yeah.
And then I kind of had some talks with a couple of mature brothers, and they were explaining to me how it was for encouragement. Right. And I'm like, okay, cool. I like this idea. I mean, this is kind of a way for us to come and build friendships with sisters, genuine friendships with sisters.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that it wasn't that, I kind of reverted to that, disgruntled state of just being like, what the heck? I thought this was encouragement. Why are these interests flying everywhere? Why are people so focused on, trying to date and stuff? Why are we supposed to be building friendships, relationships?
Yeah.
And then I kind of had that mindset of, why isn't the church perfect?
Yeah.
But there'll never be a perfect church because at the end of the day, we're human.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of just like, that kind of led to, more and more me searching for, things that were correct and me finding things that weren't correct when I should have been focusing on, growing closer to God and, building my convictions with him.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a slow burn. Would say. Slow burn. Yeah. I think I kind of agree with that. I think, I was talking to a friend today and he was like, man, if I was to do that, I fell away in my heart 3 months ago. If he was to like, I don't know, if let's say like you were to like meet a girl and sleep with them as a Christian or whatever, he was like, man, if I was to do that, I fell away about 3 months ago. Yeah, I just didn't get caught, So I do believe like, it is a process, especially when you're younger, like as you're younger, especially when you're a young Christian and a young person, like you're trying to figure everything out. Yeah. And you always have questions as to why isn't this going this way or why isn't X like this or, you know what I'm saying? And I do believe, people do get into that mindset of like, man, like, oh, these people don't really have my best interests at heart. Let me do my own thing, and that's what leads to everything else. I was talking to a friend today and I was like, man, like, why is it when people fall away, like, I don't know, man. They just be looking bad. Like, you gain 50 pounds and you start dating and the girl. No, you straight. You straight. No, you look good. You look good. No. He's a subtle jabs. Nah, but bro, people be like, they be gaining like 50 pounds and they start dating anybody. It's like they date the first person they see. And it's like the biggest thing that get me, what would make me mad is they don't even try for a relationship with God. Like they don't even try to go to church. You know what I mean? Like they just don't go anymore.
Just drop it.
They just drop it 100%. That's the scariest part. And 4, they get mad awkward. You can't even have conversations with them. They try to avoid you. I'm like, bro, like I'm not even trying to bring up church. I just Did you watch the game last night?
Yeah.
You know, so it's just, I don't know. It's interesting to me, you know, like just be yourself, you know?
Yeah. And I think another thing, too, that I should probably speak on, during that time, I actually started realizing I kind of wanted a relationship, right? You know, with somebody else. And that was something that at the time I didn't see in the church, right? And this is not to put down any of the sisters in the church or anything like that. I'd never do that. But now I know it's God was kind of holding me away from that, because I was nowhere near ready for a relationship back then, man. I was so surface level, superficial.
Yeah.
And just now seeing, you know, some of the other brothers get married in their relationships, right? And then even, you know, with my current relationship, it's just like
relationship.
Yeah.
Yo, what the heck? Yo, hold up. Nah, I mess with you, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, even my current relationship, I've learned so much and seen so much, and it's like having a relationship with somebody, a true relationship, one that's, you know, supposed to be, you know, led by God, right? Because it's like, even with marriage, like I kind of have this like mental thing. It's like, you don't really marry the other person, you marry God.
Yep.
Right? Because it's like you and the other person are supposed to help each other get closer to God.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like there's so many different moving pieces and factors in relationships that, you know, just don't work in the world without God, because it requires that, you know, faith, love, and, you know, acceptance that at the end of the day, no matter what, it's you and that person against the world, and you and that person against, you know, anything that tries to attack you or your relationship.
Yeah.
Right. And where does your strength come from?
Yeah.
From God.
Yeah.
So
that's real. So I guess so to be clear, you fell away and you're dating somebody else. Well, and you're dating somebody.
yeah.
Sheesh, man. This guy is doing like all the worst things.
So, definitely realize that, you know, I can't live life without God. One thing I've seen multiple times in myself while I've been away is just that through it all, nothing else really matters, right? I can, you know, go to work every day and just repeat, rinse, repeat. I can, you know, have all these aspirations and goals and stuff, but it's like there's so much that one just wouldn't be possible without God. And there's just so many things that, you know, without him just aren't worth doing, right? So many things he protects me from. And if you know, any listeners out there, if you just sit down and genuinely, you know, just read the Bible and see the things that God protects you from, the things that he has done for us, it's like, how can you not love God?
Yeah. What I guess what would be like your rock bottom moment when you fell away? When you look in the mirror and it's like, man,
my rock bottom moment.
Like, because I feel like if people fall away, but like I feel like they put up a front where it's like, man, I ain't really need them to begin with, you know. So like, did you ever get to a point where you're like, man, maybe I really need God. Maybe I really needed the church. Like, did you ever have like a humble moment where it's just like, you know, like you I don't know, maybe you in the back of a police car or something, and it's like, man, if I was in church right now, like none of this would. Like, you ever had like one of those moments?
I've had multiple of those actually. I will say I never got to the point where it's like I don't need these people. I never had any hate or animosity, and I love their brothers. Yeah. Big shout out to, you know, Melvin, Chamba, and Jerry. Those three have definitely, you know, been pillars in my life.
Pillars.
But I think that moment where I kind of like, dang, why am I not with God, was when my roommate actually came to me, and he came out like I could tell there's something off about him. He was genuinely like struggling. I know he had just hopped out of a relationship, and he was kind of on the path like in his life together. Yeah. And he had asked me, he was like, yo, so I don't really know much about God, but you know, like what's good with that? Yeah. And it was the fact that he came and asked me that question, because he knew I would consistently go to church and stuff like that. And I was like, dang, if only I was in the church, I could really. Yeah. And it's like, that wasn't the only one. I had 2 other friends come to me, and I'm like, just shots to the heart. Dang. I'm like, dude.
That had to cut deep.
Yeah. And it was like, what am I doing? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, why am I not, you know, living for God? Why am I here? Yeah. Right. And it's kind of been sort of part of the driving motivation for me to kind of, you know, repair and rebuild my relationship with God. Because it's easy to say, oh, I'm living for God, I'm doing this, and Jesus is Lord, but is Jesus Lord of your life?
Yeah,
right.
That's crazy. That has to cut deep. Especially like even for me, like when I was going through some hard times, like when I was a young Christian, like I got involved in relationships and everything like that. I was so close to falling away, and like when you're going through that and people ask you about God, like it's like the biggest eye opener. You're just like, man, like I can't even answer your question, but I should. I should know the answer, but I don't. Like I don't know. Like I think one time I was going through a really hard time, and someone asked me like, "Yo, like I'm reading this, I'm reading this in the Bible. What do you think?" And I think I opened my Bible for a few weeks, up to a month, and I'm like, man, like I'm so gone right now. I was so involved in that relationship, and you just your judgment really gets clouded. But God will always, kind of put people in the right place or say the right things to kind of get our attention. So.
Yeah, and what's even crazier is like when you're in when you're in sin or doing wrong, quite literally everything will relate to that sin. Like you could go to church and hear the preacher talking about shoelaces and it will relate to your situation.
Yeah.
And I always find that funny because sometimes our conscience does condemn us and things like that.
Yeah.
So
you seen those you seen them Instagram reels where like when like the husband's leaving like the sneaky link's house, and like I don't know, some of these these memes be funny, like the husband be like, oh, when you're leaving your sneaky link's house and you walk in the door and you see like your family and your kids right
yeah.
And like the husband's face is just like just I feel like it's the same way when it's like with God. It's like, okay, when you're not with God for a long time, and then like someone just starts asking you questions about God, and you're just like, your whole heart is just like falls apart.
Yeah.
Oh man, life is crazy, man.
Yeah, I think another time that I kind of hit that like realization, like what the heck is going on. So I will say, again, big shout out to Chamba. There was a time when I was kind of like slipping away. This kind of like when I was kind of exiting.
Yeah.
He had texted me, right? And I read that text, and I didn't respond immediately.
Dang.
And then I asked myself, why am I not responding? Like, why am I putting up a barrier between me and him? Like, this is a dude that genuinely cares about me.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, I never had that type of feeling before. And then I'm like, dang, is this what people feel when they fall away?
Yeah.
They kind of just put up that barrier, that wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I can't do this. These are people that genuinely care for me. Like,
yeah.
even outside of, what I'm going through right now with God and everything like that. Like, I can't get rid of these people.
Yeah.
Right? These people are
genuinely care. Yeah, they genuinely care. Like, yeah.
So, and then I think it hurts me to say this now. I don't think I respond to him until like 2-3 days later.
Jeez.
And I responded to him with a paragraph.
Dang, bro.
And it was just me.
Yeah, guys sending paragraphs. Guys don't. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it was. Now I will say it was foolishness. It was nonsense. I texted him. It was me trying to circumnavigate, my way out without having to talk. You know what I'm trying to say. It was that, and to my shame, I sent that text.
Yeah.
But the loving man that Chamba still is, and all the other brothers, even you, I still talk to you guys, keep in contact, because you guys kind of straighten me out.
That's true. You got older brothers at all?
I have 2 older half brothers.
Oh, from half brothers.
Yeah, they're 32, I believe.
Oh, jeez, yeah. So get people around your age, they're older, like it kind of keeps you in line, it kind of like sets you straight. So I guess the question people are probably thinking: are you coming back? Do you want to come back, or are you gonna like find God elsewhere in other churches? Like, what's your mindset at right now?
So, one, I would think it's. I don't think it's very smart for me to try to find God somewhere else where I already know He is.
That's true.
I'm like, that's kind of pointless. Like, why am I going somewhere else to find God? I know God is here. Like, this is the first place I've been. I've actually felt the presence of God.
That's respect.
And I grew up in the church. If you didn't know that, my mom was actually the assistant pastor of the church that I went to. So very much.
Yeah, very much involved.
So, definitely, I want to come back. Right. I've recognized and accepted that, and I can't live without God. Like it's a given. But obviously I am human. I recognize that I do fight myself. I recognize that it's easy to slip back into the mindset of, oh, I'm okay for right now. I don't have to think about this. And it's sad to say, but I do kind of resort to that mindset of, okay, let me not think about this right now. I have other things to do.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of trying to bury myself in those other things.
Yeah. It's like for me when I was growing up, like I knew I wasn't supposed to, to do certain things.
Yeah.
But the less I knew, the less it hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The less information you have, like, like it's like, okay, do you want to know when you're gonna die? Like, no, like I'd just rather just die. You know, like because if you know, then like I don't know. I feel like you're always on edge.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same with the Bible. Like the less you know about the Bible, the more free you can live. But once they open that Bible up to you and you understand it,
oh yeah, no, you're
bro. Everything you do, every decision you make, it's like it's you're gonna be accounted for. So like that's why when I say when you're younger, like you just don't know, like like these things are important to you, but as you get older and like okay. Now it's time to tighten up, So.
Yeah, and it's like that first month, dude, it was brutal. Everything I was doing was like scriptures would just pop up in my head, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's happening.
Yeah, this guy was a victim, bro. This guy's a victim.
Being cut up.
A victim of church abuse, bro. He gets out the church and he can't even function as an adult.
Nah, dude, it was bad. The first month was horrible, dude. I felt like trash.
Really?
I'm like, I couldn't even hold myself to a standard that I wanted to hold myself to. Jeez. I felt like I was kind of just reacting. I always tell people to respond to their situation instead of reacting. For the first time, I felt like I was kind of just reacting to my situation instead of responding.
Yeah, that is insane, man. I feel like, I don't know, like I'm trying to think. If I was to fall away, I feel like for me, if I if I was to genuinely fall away, like real deal fall away.
Yeah.
I feel like I would fall away for something dumb, like I don't know, like.
That's why everybody falls away.
Yeah, dumb. Like I thought it'd be something dumb. Like I'm like, all right, well, man, I ain't trying to make no more disciples, bro. Like I'll make disciples once a month when the church does. Like I'll go to another church and like, all right, yeah. Like I would, like for me, if I was fall away, I'll probably fall away for like something easier. Like you give your contribution, and like there's no special missions in the church, and like we make disciples like. Once a month or something, we go out a group and make disciples or something. I don't know, man. Like, it wouldn't be for like nothing crazy, like, oh, this is all a lie. And everything is truth, but it'd probably be for like an easier life, maybe. But at the same time, that's just me and my sinful nature. Because for me, like, I like to just have everything easy. I'd rather play the game on easy mode. Well, I play video games on harder difficulties, but if life can be easy and more enjoyed.
Not 2K, you play stick assist.
I didn't even know that was a thing, bro. We can run Hall of Fame right now.
Hey, you don't want that word.
Bro, I haven't lost. Bro, I haven't genuinely. Like, I'll lose in 2K, but if I lose, like, I lose for a reason. Like, I think the other day I lost and, like, dude didn't even play defense. He off-balled the whole game. And I didn't realize, like, until the end. I'm like, yo, like, buddy just off-balled me the whole game. Like, the guy thinks he's a GOAT. And, like, or I'll lose, like, if we playing, like, 3-minute quarters or something crazy. And, like, it's not even like a real game. Like, but if we're actually playing, like, all right, I'm going to play you. Like, let's put defensive settings on. Let's, like, I'm not trying to finesse you. Like,
you run plays?
Sometimes. Not really. But,
okay.
But, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was to fall away, it'd be for something easier,
Yeah. I feel like that's why most people fall away. Definitely kind of the easier aspect of things, because I feel like we're not cognizant of those, small minor things kind of building up inside of yourself. And if you don't really sit down and kind of evaluate your situation, that can kind of take advantage of you. Yeah. Right. I feel like it's a lot more rare to kind of see somebody fall away and be like, oh, God is this, God is that. Yeah. These people are, this, that, and the third. Yeah. Not to say they don't exist, but
So to close out, bro, what's next? Like where are you at right now? Like, what's your next steps? Yeah. Like, especially earlier in the episode we talked about just becoming a man, or becoming who you want to become, or who you think you are. What's next? Like, are you gonna be like, all right, 2024, go back to church and go back to school. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. How
Yeah.
But what's next? What's the next?
So I'm definitely not a person for using times of the year to kind of make my decisions.
But you can make it a goal.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And a little side note, I heard a comment a couple of days ago. These people were arguing in our college Snapchat group thing. There was like thousands of students in there, and some girl was like, "Oh, everybody's doing it, so it's okay. It's 2023." And then another dude came in and said, this generation's lost when we're using a year to justify terrible actions. And I read that comment and I lost my mind. I was laughing so hard.
Goodness.
But I guess what's kind of next for me is definitely building my relationship with God. I know it's not going to be easy. I definitely fight myself more than I should.
Yeah.
But definitely getting back right with God. And kind of becoming a person that somebody can look at and be like, yeah, this I feel the presence of God in him. And
So to be direct, does that mean coming back to the church or no?
Yeah, I want to come back to the church.
Amen, bro.
I want to come back to the church.
Amen. Sometimes you wrap it. It's like you wrap a nice present, but what are you trying to say?
Yeah.
So he's coming back, guys. I'd just like to thank everybody for listening. Season 2, episode 2. Got our boy Aaron Stroud in the building.
Yo.
He's coming back, guys. To be determined on the date because he doesn't make goals. But thank you guys for listening. If you want to be on the podcast, hit my email and we could make things happen. Love you guys. Have a great night.